Communications if you're interested. Ask people from Hammond Communications. So we're happy to welcome UCLA head coach Corey Close to the podium, and we'll start with opening statement.
Well, hi, everybody. Sorry we're running a little behind. We had 3 kids at the final exam, and so we couldn't leave any earlier. You'd think we'd be used to the traffic, but we weren't. So, but we're excited to be here. Appreciate all of you helping us grow our game and giving coverage to the journey of these great women. We're excited about the opportunity to continue to dance and to continue to get better, and we'll just go from there.
We'll start with Chris, and then we'll go to Doug.
Hi, Coach. Chris Ellsbury, Connecticut Post. You made it a point, it seems like, to go out to Baylor and play them and go out to South Carolina and play them, obviously hostile environments. Talk about what your team learned from those games and how you will try to use it tomorrow when what's probably going to be a real hostile environment.
Well, I think it's, add the Pac-12 hostile environments to that as well. So I think it's, just a maturation process. You learn to focus on the things under your control. Some things are going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's not something that's going to be unfamiliar. And, I think that's one thing I've really enjoyed about this team is they really don't put too much into that kind of stuff. They're just like, hey, we can't control that. It is what it is. We're used to it. We've embraced it. And I think, having good point guard play helps too.
Doug?
Hey, Coach. Doug Farmer, the AP.
Good to see you, Doug.
Congrats on making it this far.
Thank you.
I remember you and I talked a while ago about when you first got the UCLA job, you came to UConn, I think, and went to practice a few times.
Yeah.
And can you just talk about that experience, when it was, and what it meant to be in a UConn practice, and now you're playing them again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, great people that I think one of the things I think is really important is that they're really interested in growing the game, not just growing UConn, not just, I think it's bigger than themselves. And I was a beneficiary of that. I'm a big believer that you got to learn from the best. And so I think I've gone back 4 times, and I brought our entire staff back, I think maybe our second year at UCLA. And I spent, I think, 3 days watching practice, and they were gracious to let us pick their brains a little bit, and it just was a great experience. And so, obviously, I've had some great experiences at UCLA. Had the opportunity to seek out mentorship by John Wooden as well, and so I think for me, it's just enjoying being a consummate learner. And I really want our program to be a consistent elite program that's playing at the top. So why wouldn't I go seek out wisdom from the people that are there?
Do you want to go again? Doug, follow up? Yeah.
What year was the first time you came to see them? And also, I mean, since you did learn from Coach Wooden also, just comparing the two of them,
I'm really old, so I'm not sure exactly what the year is. I think the first time I went back was spring of 2000, maybe 2011, 2012. I think it was the spring of that. I think we were not in the tournament my first year at UCLA, and I went back myself. And I think I spent 3 days there, and then I actually went to Notre Dame on my way back, and spent 3 days there. But the second part of your question in terms of Coach Wooden, I think Coach Wooden and Coach Auriemma have a very high attention to detail, and they are always going to be pushing the envelope of your best. And I think I think their styles are vastly different, but that's something they really share in common, is that an extreme attention to detail and a consistency to push that envelope, that there's more, even to help their players find gears inside of them that maybe they didn't even know they had.
Hi, Coach. Howard Megdal, New York Times. Good to see you, too. 2 questions sort of jumping off of that point. My memory is that you have the Pyramid of Success in your office. You have the first 2 lit up at this point. If there's a victory over UConn, if you guys come in and snap that streak, do you think that the third part of the pyramid will be lit up? And just also related to that, I'm curious whether you have used the history of UCLA and the history of coming in and facing a team, that has that record as motivation, as a part of your preparation, getting ready for this game.
I'll work my way backwards. Let me know if I forget anything. I think, no, I haven't, but it is interesting. A few days ago, Nan Wooden called me. It was her birthday, and she was calling to congratulate us on the game Monday night, but she definitely reminds me of who broke that record. So there's some other people who have reminded us. I think that I've really actually tried to stay away from everything that doesn't have to do with the next 40 minutes. And I think that's part of why people have a hard time, is because they get distracted by a lot of the other things that really have nothing to do with us. And as much as we are attached to the history of UCLA and the motivation, I don't think we need any motivation at this point. You know, if I'm focusing on motivation in the Sweet 16 game, I probably have some bigger problems. But you know, I've really just tried to narrow the focus and try to know our team. How do we play our best? Stay focused on that. In terms of the pyramid of success, and I think you're referring to, in our office, we called it second level living, and we were just literally building the foundations and moving our way up. You know, I think it's really just it's a vivid reminder that we're trusting the process. We're not talking about the championships. We're doing the work and making the commitments that lead to those things. And you know, I'll light up a lot of things if we're able to do that. But the bottom line for me is that my commitment to these young women is to create a transformational experience that not only helps them reach their potential on the court, but helps them long after the ball goes flat. So part of it is a reminder to the players, but maybe some of it is just a reminder to me that it's just one block at a time, one step at a time, and stay focused on that.
Erica, and then we'll go with Mel.
Hi, Coach Close. Erica Ayala with Double G Sports and the Female Coaching Network. Now, you've talked about learning from coaches and then also what your philosophy is in cultivating young women. Mm-hmm. When you put all of that together, what would you say is your approach to the season that you've had, but then does that change when you enter into the postseason tournaments?
We try not to. I mean, I think that's why you really embrace, like the gentleman said about going to play at South Carolina, going to play at Baylor, playing in the #1 conference in the country, is that so when you get to this point, it doesn't feel like this huge change. We got to do something different. We got to be something different. And I think that's, you know, really, we're trying to build habits and that prepare us for moments like this. And so I really hope it isn't that different. I mean, there's, you know, more media attention. There's more, you know, longer times being in the locker room before you ever practice. I mean, there's little things like that. But that's just part of the fun vibe of being in March Madness and the NCAA tournament. But I really am trying to keep it as consistent in our preparation. I've been challenging our team the whole year, and I just said, hey, you got to fall in love with the preparation, and you got to fall in love with making a play for somebody else. And it's got to be selfless basketball, and you got to enjoy the process of getting better and pushing those comfort zones. And it's gotten us to this point, so I'm going to keep with it.
Mel?
Yeah, Mel Greenberg.
Hi, Mel.
During the season, technically, you played in what we jokingly referred to as the AP League Western Division with the ranked teams. And, you know, we'd look out there one night and suddenly you were diving, then you were rising. Can you just talk about the ability to sustain those ups and downs and get to where you are now?
Well, I think, you know, life has disappointments and basketball has disappointments and it has growth opportunities. And I think, you know, we obviously aren't undefeated, and but we look back on every single one of the processes where we've had ups and downs, and I bet if you asked our players, they would be able to say, oh, we learned this from this point, we learned this from this point. And I think really just taking a growth mindset to all of the ups and downs, to everything that happens in a season, and trying to let it teach your heart. And, you know, just a couple weeks ago when we lost in the semifinals of the Pac-12 tournament, I just was so I just was really aware that this was going to teach our hearts, and I saw how invested our team was, and I think that's the way it is all the way through the year. When a team's really invested, every time there's an up, every time there's a down, there's an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, Doug, and then we'll have Howard.
Corey, I know you probably didn't spend too much time this year watching UConn. I mean, they're obviously on TV enough that you probably saw them a few times. Sure. But now that you've probably spent the last week or so paying more attention, what has impressed you most about what they do now? I mean, I know you played them, I think, 3 years ago.
Right.
But what impressed you what they've done this year?
Well, I think that, you know, the thing that's impressed me about their program over time, and this is why I think they play better than their individual pieces on paper are supposed to, and this is the year, of course, that everybody would have said that, is their ability to pass the ball. Every single person on their team can pass it, and I think, therefore, they create such easier opportunities for each other. there's a lot of times when I'm watching film that you'll say, oh, that offense or that action created a great opportunity, but the passer couldn't find him. Passer couldn't get it to him. And UConn teams, year in and year out, they pass the ball so well that they make their unit better than the sum total of their parts. And I think this year, maybe more than any year, because there's not this go-to player like we're going to run this play and we're going to go get Stewie a touch here, and that's the end of it. You know, I mean, it's all these different players making plays at different times. And you know, I've watched a fair amount of film now, and it's just remarkable the efficiency. And I think their ability to not talk about just one player, to have different players be involved in so many different plays. Obviously, I've been watching Katie Lou Samuelson, since she was really young. I've got one of her high school teammate on my team, and Allie Rosenblum. I mean, there's some obviously great individual players, but that isn't what's impressed me the most. It's their ability to use each other's strengths and to make life easier for somebody else.
Howard?
Corey, in terms of Jordan's development this year, you know, her numbers were already terrific last year, but her assist percentage jumped to over 40%, one of a handful of players in the country that's the case, and her turnover percentage went way down. It's actually the lowest of anyone in the top 20 in assist percentage. What do you account for that change? How do you go about doing that? Generally speaking, assist percentage leads to more turnovers because you're trying for more.
Right.
She's managed to do them both. How has she done it?
Well, I think every year that Jordan has been here, I think she's really changed in her habits, her work ethic, as well as in her mental approach to the game. I think she was such a dynamic scorer coming out of high school that it was really hard for her to step back and think of the game globally first. Like, my job isn't first to score. I mean, every time in high school when things got hard, you put the team on your back and you went and got buckets, you know, and that was it. And even she talked about this recently, she thought defense was everybody else's job. And, you know, I think the combination of her falling in love with defense, I know that sounds a weird answer to your question, but I think it's given us easy opportunities in numbers breaks where those assist to turnover decisions are really, a much easier situation for her. So I think, but I've really seen just a student of the game. Her and I watch individual film together every week, and watching her see the game sort of just from a deeper standpoint. And now she'll come to me in practice and go, what about this? I mean, it happened on the plane yesterday. She's like, I think if we put, Carrie in this action at this point, this will cause some troubles on the switch or whatever else. And it's really fun to watch her really think the game. So I think when you make other people better and your turnovers go down, it's because you're anticipating more than you're reacting. And she's starting to see, oh, this is going to happen. When I do this, it's going to cause this, this, and this. And I think she reacted to plays maybe in her first 2 years, and this year she's anticipating plays.
Ian?
Ian Bethune, SB Nation's UConn site. Have you seen anybody as athletic as UConn's Gabby Williams up front?
Well, I'd say Monique Billings is right up there. So I think that's going to be a really interesting matchup. I obviously really respect Gabby Williams and her athleticism. More than her athleticism, though, it's her consistency and determination to try to be involved in every play. But I really like Monique Billings' athleticism, too. So I really think that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch out there, because they both have the ability to affect every play on both ends of the floor. And to the end that which person can make those plays consistently, that'll be an interesting one. But obvious respect for Gabby, but I also have a lot of respect for Monique Billings as well.
We have any other questions for Coach Howard? And then if there was one more after that, we have time for one more.
Corey, I'm not sure if you saw, Becky Hammon was reportedly offered the Florida job. It's obviously a very difficult position to be in. It's a chance to have a raise and to continue to grow the women's game, which is something I know is so significant in your life as well.
Right.
But obviously the chance to be a trailblazer also in the NBA is something that it's very hard for her to weigh. What are your thoughts on it, and what would your take be?
Well, I think my take would be you got to really know your own heart and what your own sort of calling is to make a difference. And I think that's different for different people. For me, my heart is really with college-age young women, and I think it's a unique age. And so for me, it wouldn't really be a question. But I also I've been inspired by watching her journey in the NBA, and I know how many other people are. And she's really good friends with Jenny Huth on my staff. They grew up together in Colorado. And I just really respect what she's been willing to do, not only for women and opportunities, but think about all the little girls that have watched that and go, maybe that could be me. So as a fellow coach, I think she's just got to know what the deepest calling is in her heart, in her life. And I think you can make a difference in our game and make a difference in people's lives in lots of different ways. And I'll be really excited to see what she chooses, because we know whatever she chooses, she will do a lot of good.
We have one more question in the back.
Hi, Corey. Just making the trip out here again, is it just a little more comforting that your girls have been to Bridgeport? They've kind of gone through the East Coast routine, and they can be a little used to that going into tomorrow's game?
Well, it's always interesting for us. We had 3 kids have final exams, as I mentioned earlier. We're finished, I think, as of this afternoon. We got a couple papers that need to be turned in, but last year we were done, just the way the calendar fell. So that added a little bit, but it was fun just listening to our players as we flew in, as we drove in. There is a sense of familiarity, and I think it's a difference. Last year was the first time we'd been to a Sweet 16, and I think since 1999. My numbers might not be exactly right, but I think this year we expect to be here. We expect to compete at the highest levels. We expect to play our best when our best is needed. So I just think there's a sort of a different level of just confidence. Our culture's grown a little bit. That's just it's sort of one of those building block things. There's just a mental expectation. But I think there is a familiarity. I think there's a little bit of comfort there. But I think most of that is just a maturation process and our expectancy to be at the highest levels this time of year.
Okay, Coach, thanks for joining us, and we'll have the UCLA student-athletes up momentarily.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
Okay, we have the UCLA student athletes joining us, Carrie Corver and Jordan Canada, and we want to welcome to Connecticut the women's basketball SID at UCLA, Ryan Finney, who I think is out there somewhere. There's Ryan. Welcome. And if we'll, he's got a jacket on.
You want us to take 'em off?
No, you can keep them on. It's cold here in
Yeah.
Connecticut, I guess. We'll take questions from people. Chris and then Howard.
Hi, Chris Ellsbury, Connecticut Post. You guys went out to Baylor and played. You guys went out to South Carolina and played. Pretty hostile environments. Can you talk about what you learned from those games and how you intend to put that to good use tomorrow in what's probably going to be a real hostile environment?
For our transcriber that's listening online, if Carrie could go first and then Jordan.
I think in both those games, we had really good starts. I think we had really good first halves. Like against Baylor, I know we had the lead going into halftime. I can't remember for sure about South Carolina. And then we just didn't play for 4 quarters. And that's something we've been trying to learn the whole year is we need to play basketball for 4 quarters if we're going to go and beat great teams like that in their place. And so I think that's what we've been learning throughout the year.
Yeah, I agree with Corver. Our consistency in that has grown tremendously. And I think something else that we need to focus on and got better at is our defensive rebounding. I mean, we lost the battle of the boards from both teams, and we have to rebound in order to win this game. I mean, Collier and Williams, they're great at rebounding, so we have to make sure that we're boxing them out and we're staying consistent in that as well.
Howard?
Hi, Jordan. Question for you. After last year, where numbers were already very solid, your assist numbers have risen dramatically this year, not with corresponding rise in turnovers. Your turnovers have actually gone way down. I'm wondering how you account for those two things and what you think has led to your assist and turnovers being so much more efficient this year.
I think for me, what I really focused on this past year is slowing the game down for myself. I think the first 2 years I was just playing fast and not really playing efficient enough. And I think this year I really tried to focus on that and put my teammates in positions to succeed, coming off screens, reading the defense. I think that's something that helped me. And then once I got to learn that and practice that more and more, the game kind of slowed down for me, so I was able to make great decisions.
Doug?
Doug Feinberg, the AP. For both of you, you've probably seen a few UConn games on TV here and there, but having watched film, I'm guessing, for the last couple of days, what's most impressed you about them, seeing them on film?
I think their offense, the way that they move the ball and they all are involved, and it's not a ton of dribbling. It's just they find the most open person, they get them the ball, and they score, or their transition as well is really impressive.
For the transcriber, that was Carrie, and now Jordan's going to go.
I think their defense, how they're able to just shut down teams, no matter who they're playing. It could be a top 10 team. It could just be, another team. It doesn't matter. The way they play defense is team basketball. Like, I just love the way that they play defense.
Erica?
Okay, ladies, now turning that question on its head, for those of us who haven't been able to see you play out on the West Coast, what are the aspects of the UCLA game that you think will be on full display or will need to be on full display in order to be successful?
Either one. Why doesn't Jordan go first?
Okay. I think transition offense is where we thrive the most. We get out and we push and we run, and we're able to do that when we get defensive stops. I think that's one of our best attributes of our game is transition offense.
I think to add to that, on defense, we've gone a ton better. When we started the year, we let teams score in the 80s, and so then we had to score like in the 80s or 90s to win. And I think now we can really hold teams to a lot lower point value. So I think our defense.
Howard?
Question for both of you. To be in the building where the Sweet 16 disappointment happened last year, is that significant for both of you? And have you allowed yourself to think about that in terms of how you want to hopefully look for a different ending this time around?
Jordan?
I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard coming back in the same gym that you lost, but at the same time, you're not thinking about that. That was last year. This is a different year. You're focusing on what you can do to get better as a team, and the way we've been playing these past couple weeks actually has prepared us for this moment. So, I mean, we're not really worried. I haven't even been thinking about the last year's game. That's the game that happened in the past, so we're moving forward.
Yeah, I'd agree with Jordan. I think walking into the locker room initially was kind of weird because we were in that locker room last year, and coach is crying, and you're losing your seniors and all of that. But we're focused on the game tomorrow. We're not focused on last year.
Any other questions for student athletes? Doug?
Obviously, you guys play in one of the toughest conferences in the country. How well does that prepare you for a team like UConn? And also, you've played in front of hostile crowds in that conference as well. And tomorrow afternoon will probably be another hostile crowd, I would think.
Carrie, you want to go first?
It's been great. I love the Pac-12. Every night you have to come and you have to play a great game in order to win. There's no nights off. And I think, there's times where we lost on the road this year and we were disappointed in the Pac-12, but now look at like Oregon is in the Sweet 16 and we have 5 teams in the Sweet 16, I think. So those losses, they don't feel as bad. I mean, we still would have liked to win. We still think we could have won. But, we're in a great conference, so we're prepared.
I mean, I agree with Carrie. I think something that we have learned playing in that conference is fighting for 40 minutes and being consistent and learning how to, just play hard. Whoever's in the game for however long. Like, we need to focus on that and being consistent. And this conference has definitely prepared us in that. Every night you're going to get a good game. It doesn't matter. It's highly doubtful that you're going to get a game where you blow out teams by 20 or 15 plus. Like, you're going to get a good game every night. So it's just being consistent in that and making sure we're fighting for 40 minutes.
Anybody else for the UCLA student athletes? Okay, thank you very much. The UCLA locker room is open probably for about another 10 minutes or so, and we'll see everybody here tomorrow.